everyone! Welcome to another episode of HALINA'T MATH-TUTO sa Dasmariñas North National High School. I am your teacher-lecturer, Ms. Roselvi Edro Solano. And today, we will discuss about Rational Root Theorem of polynomial equations. Before we proceed to our next topic, let's have a recall about zeros of polynomials in factored form. Zeros of polynomial equation given as the quantity of x minus 2 times the quantity of 2x plus 3 times the quantity of x plus 1 equals 0. Solution: using the zero product property, x minus 2 equals 0. The answer is x equals 2. 2x plus 3 equals 0. X is equal to negative 3 over 2 or 3 half. Then, x plus 1 equals 0, or x is equal to negative 1. Therefore, the zeros or the solutions of the given polynomial equation are 2, negative 3 halves, and negative 1. Now, what if the polynomial is not in factored form? How are we going to solve its solution? So, in this video, we will learn the steps in solving the rational roots of polynomial equations. Let's have our step number 1. List all the possible roots of the polynomial equation using rational root theorem. Example number 1, 2x cubed minus x squared minus 4x plus 3 equals 0. This polynomial equation is not in factored form. That's why we will get the solution where we will have the p and q. P represents the numerical coefficient of the leading term, and q represents the constant term. And then, we will get the factors of p and q. Since we are getting the possible roots can be positive or negative. So, the factors of 2 are positive and negative 1, and positive and negative 2. And then the factors of 3, positive negative 1, and positive negative 3. The next step, we will write it in the form of p over q, where p is 1 and q is 1. So that would be positive negative 1 over 1, and then 1 over 3. Next is 2 over 1 and 2 over 3 or 2/3. Then we will do the solution. 1 divided by 1 is positive negative 1. Positive negative 1/3, just copy. And then positive negative 2 divided by 1 is 2. And then positive negative 2/3, you will just copy. Now let's proceed to our step number 2. Apply the factor theorem and use synthetic division to check if one of the listed roots is a factor. If it's a factor, then it is also one of the solutions to the polynomial equation. Again, the p over q or the possible roots are positive negative 1, positive negative 1/3, positive negative 2, and positive negative 2/3. Solution: we will use the synthetic division. So, write down all the given numerical coefficients. The numerical coefficients of x cubed is 2, of x squared is negative 1, of x is negative 4, and 3 is the constant term. And then, the divisor will be one of the roots. We will use first positive 1. And then, we will follow the steps in solving polynomial equations using synthetic division. Carry down the first number in the row, that is 2. And then, multiply it to the root. So, 2 times 1 is 2. Write it on the second column. And then, add down the second column. Negative 1 plus 2 is equal to positive 1. And then, 1 multiplied to the given root, which is 1. So 1 times 1 is 1. write down on the third column. And then add the given column. Negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. Multiply negative 3 to the root. Negative 3 times 1, the answer is negative 3. Write it on the last column. So, add down the column. 3 plus negative 3 is equal to 0. Last number in the row is 0. It means that the root, which is 1 of the solution of the given polynomial equations. Now let's proceed to step number 3. Get the depressed equation. Since the last entry on the last row is 0, then 1 is a solution to the polynomial equation where its depressed equation is. The last entry on the last row are 2, negative 1, negative 3, 0. Then, we have to get the depressed equation. So, from 2 to 2x squared. The degree of the polynomial equation is 3 minus 1 equals 2 will be the degree of the given depressed equation, 2x squared. And then, negative x or negative 1 to negative x. And then, negative 3 equals 0. So, the depressed equation is 2x squared minus x minus 3 equals 0. Now, let's have step number 4. Solve the depressed equation to find the other solution using factoring method. 2x squared minus x minus 3 equals 0 is the given depressed equation. Since it is now in quadratic equation, we can do now the factoring. Factor of 2x squared minus x minus 3 equals 0 is the quantity of 2x plus 3 times the quantity of x minus 1 equals 0. And then we will use the zero product property. We will have 2x plus 3 equals 0, and then x is equal to negative 3 halves. And then x minus 1 equals 0, then x is equal to 1. So, the solutions of the given polynomial equation are 1, multiplicity of 2, and negative 3 halves. For further understanding, let's proceed to our example number 2. The given as 2x squared plus 7x cubed plus 4x squared minus 7x minus 6 equals 0. Again, we will follow the steps in solving the rational roots of polynomial equations. Step number 1. List all the possible roots of the polynomial equation using Rational Root Theorem. Solution, we will get the P and Q. P represents the numerical coefficient of the leading term. So the leading term is 2x raised to 4, and the leading coefficient is 2. And Q represents 6, or the constant term. What are the factors of 2 or the factors of P? The factors of 2 again given as positive negative 1 and positive negative 2. What are the factors of 6? Q is equal to positive negative 1, positive negative 2, positive negative 3, positive negative 6. Those are the factors of 6. And then we will do again in the form of P over Q, where we have 1 over 1. 1 is P over Q is 1. So 1 over 1, 1 half, and then 1/3, and then 1 over 6 or 1/6. And then we will use the 2 over 1 or positive negative 2 over 2, then 2 over 3 or 2/3, and then 2 over 6 or 2/6. Then the final answer is of P over Q is equal to positive negative 1, positive negative 1 half, positive negative 1/3, positive negative 1/6, positive negative 2, positive negative 2/3, and positive negative 1/3. Then, we will do the step number 2. Apply the factor theorem and use the synthetic division to check if one of the listed roots is a factor. If it's a factor, then it is also one of the solutions to the polynomial equation. Again, the given rational roots are positive negative 1, positive negative 1/2, positive negative 1/3, positive negative 1/6, positive negative 2, positive negative 2/3, and positive negative 1/3. Solution? We will use the synthetic division. So again, we will list down all the given numerical coefficients of the given polynomial equations. The numerical coefficient of x raised to 4 is 2, of x cubed is 7, of x squared is 4, and x is negative 7. Then the constant term is negative 6. And then the divisor will be, we will use the positive 1. Then follow the steps in solving the given using synthetic division. Carry down the first number in the row, which is 2. Then multiply to the root. So 2 times 1 is 2. Write down on the second column. And then add down the second column. 7 plus 2 is 9. Then 9 times 1 is equal to 9. Write it on the third column. Add down the column. 4 plus 9 is equal to 13. Then 13 times the root, which is 1. So 13 times 1 is equal to 13. Write it on the fourth column. Add down the column. Negative 7 plus 13 is 6. Then multiply 6 to the root. 6 times 1 is 6. Write it on the last column. And then add down the column. Negative 6 plus 6 is equal to 0. Since the last number in the row is 0, it means that 1 or positive 1 is one of the solution or roots of the given polynomial equations. Then proceed to step number 3 by getting the depressed equation. Since the last entry on the last row is 0, then 1 is a solution to the polynomial equation, where its depressed equation is the last entry on the row are 2, 9, 13, 6, 0. And then we will express it to depressed equation. So from 2x cubed plus 9x squared plus 13x plus 6 equals 0. Then the depressed equation is 2x cubed plus 9x squared plus 13x plus 6 equals 0. Since the depressed equation has a degree of 3, we will repeat the process of applying the factor theorem. Step number 4. We have to apply again the factor theorem and use the synthetic division, but this time using the coefficients of the depressed equation number 1. Let's try negative 1 this time. So again, the depressed equation given 2x cubed plus 9x squared plus 13x plus 6 equals 0. Solution? We have to write down again all the numerical coefficients of the given polynomial equation. The numerical coefficient of x cubed is 2, of x squared is 9, of x is 13, and 6 is the constant term. Now this time, the root that we will use is negative 1. Then follow the steps using synthetic division. Bring down the first number in the row, which is 2. Then multiply it to the given root, which is negative 1. So 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Write the answer on the second column. And then add down the second column. 9 plus negative 2 is equal to 7. And then we will multiply 7 to negative 1. So 7 times negative 1 is equal to negative 7. Write the answer on the third column. Then add down the third column. 13 plus negative 7 is equal to 6. And then 6 times negative 1 is equal to negative 6. So write negative 6 on the last column. And then add down the last column. 6 plus negative 6 is equal to 0. Now, let's recall 2x cubed plus 9x squared plus 13x plus 6 equals 0 is the depressed equation number 1. Since the last entry on the row is 0 again, then negative 1 is the solution to the given polynomial equation. And then, the last entry on the last row are 2, 7, 6, 0. And then, we will express it to another depressed equation. So, 2 to 2x squared. So, the degree of the depressed equation number 1 is 3 minus 1 is equal to 2 will be the degree of the depressed equation number 2. So, that will be 2x squared. And then 7 to 7x plus 6 equals 0. Then, 2x squared plus 7x plus 6 is now our depressed equation number 2. Since the depressed equation is a quadratic equation, we can now solve it using factoring method. Let's proceed to step number 6. Solve the depressed equation to find the other solution using factoring method. Again, the depressed equation number 2 given as 2x squared plus 7x plus 6 equals 0. Now, since the given polynomial equation is now in quadratic, we can get the solution or the roots using factoring method. So the factor of 2x squared plus 7x plus 6 equals 0 is the quantity of 2x plus 3 times the quantity of x plus 2 equals 0. Then, using the zero product property, we will equate the factors to 0. So the first one is 2x plus 3 equals 0. And the answer is x is equal to negative 3 halves. And then the other factor, x plus 2 equals 0. The answer is x is equal to negative 2. So, the solutions of the given polynomial equations are 1, negative 1, negative 3 halves, and negative 2. Let's have the summary of our lesson for today. To solve rational roots or solutions of polynomial equation in standard form, we have to remember the following steps. Step number 1. List all the possible roots of the polynomial equation using Rational Root Theorem. Step number 2. Apply the factor theorem and use synthetic division to check if one of the listed roots is a factor. If it's a factor, then it's also one of the solutions to the polynomial equation. Step number 3. Get the depressed equation. Step number 4. Solve the depressed equation to find the other solution using factoring method. And that will be all for today's episode. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe in our YouTube channel so you will be updated with our latest video tutorials about learning math in HALINA'T MATH-TUTO.